Hi everyone, my name is Shelby Hartman. I'm DoubleBlind's co-founder and editor-in-chief, and today we're here to talk about reishi mushrooms. If you haven't heard of us before, just want you to know that DoubleBlind is a media company and education platform covering all things pertaining to the psychedelic movement. We have classes on how to grow mushrooms, how to microdose, as well as a monthly membership that gets you access to some of the world's leading psychedelic experts. So if you're interested in learning more, joining our community, or supporting our work, you can check us out at doubleblindmag.com. Now, more on reishi. So if you've been following along, then you've probably noticed that all of a sudden functional mushrooms are like the next CBD, and everyone's really excited about the prospect of functional mushrooms to help with immunity, to help with energy, to help with basically any health condition you could possibly imagine. Reishi mushrooms is one of the most popular. So what do we actually know about them? They have a long and rich cultural history, starting in Asia, that goes back over 2 millennia. Reishi is the common name given to a number of mushrooms in the genus Ganoderma, which is a word that describes the polypore's shiny cap. The Ganoderma genus contains around 80 known mushroom species worldwide. Despite the fact that reishi grow in a widespread number of habitats, the use of reishi mushrooms in natural medicine originated in Eastern Asia, where they've been used for millennia for medicinal purposes. English speakers tend to borrow the Japanese word reishi, but the word is originally adapted from the Chinese word lingzhi, meaning spirit mushroom. So the official Chinese compendium of drugs, the Chinese pharmacopoeia, recognizes only Ganoderma lucidum, chizhi or red reishi, and Ganoderma sinense, zizhi or black reishi, but around 20 species are used commercially in China alone. Additionally, reishi is not limited to red and black coloration. The fungus's coloration can vary between species and under different growing conditions. Some Ganoderma species, Ganoderma curtisi, feature orange and yellow coloration, yet real reishi often refers to G. lucidum and G. sinense alone. So an investigation into both mushroom grow kits and herbal supplement products found that reishi mislabeling is a common occurrence. And we're going to see more and more of that as the functional mushroom space grows. So everybody who's interested in incorporating functional mushrooms in their diet really needs to be a conscious consumer. We're going to see a lot of what happened with CBD, a wide range of qualities, a wide range of labeling and mislabeling happening in the functional mushroom space too. So know your source. A little bit about the history of reishi mushrooms. The mushroom was used as a herbal remedy for over 2,000 years in China, Japan, and Korea. So the reishi mushroom actually appears in books, paintings, carvings, and furniture for generations. In some traditions, reishi mushrooms were hung above doorways to keep bad spirits from entering. Depictions of what have been interpreted as reishi were in Taoist art of the 15th century, where the mushrooms were featured in portraits of Chinese high society and religious depictions. Historians have also found reishi referenced in Chinese pharmaceutical texts from as early as 200 to 250 CE. The Bencao Gangmu, written during the Ming Dynasty, claims that ancients ate reishi to achieve immortality. Author Robert Rogers writes that in traditional Chinese medicine, quote, reishi is considered warming, astringent, nourishing, detoxifying, and of course, tonifying. Now let's talk about the potential benefits of consuming reishi. Reishi is perhaps among the most well-known medicinal mushrooms in human society. Its history of medicinal use is well documented in traditional Chinese medicine, or TCM, and is widely used by TCM and conventional medical practitioners in China. The Chinese pharmacopoeia states that reishi acts to replenish vital force, ease the mind, and relieve coughs and asthmatic symptoms. The Chinese pharmacopoeia states that reishi acts to replenish vital force, ease the mind, and relieve coughs and asthmatic symptoms. As such, it's recommended for treating dizziness, insomnia, palpitation, and shortness of breath. Although the mushroom has a millennia-long history in human medical practice, modern scientific research on reishi mushroom benefits is still ambiguous. Reishi mushrooms are perhaps most commonly touted for their potential effects on the human immune system. Medicinal mushrooms like reishi contain beta-glucan and triterpenes, compounds that may provide health and nutritional benefits. Glucans are fibers that help provide structure to cell walls in bacteria and fungi. Fungal glucans, specifically beta-glucans, are currently being studied for their immunomodulating properties, qualities which make them compounds of interest as dietary additions in cancer treatment. Despite its rapidly growing popularity in the international wellness industry, many reishi health claims, including reishi mushrooms' effectiveness for cancer, are still poorly supported in modern-day scientific studies. It's important to bear in mind that reishi, cannabis, and psychedelics have a lot in common in that way. Thousands of years of anecdotal reports and traditional doctors recommending these treatments, but not a lot of rigorous double-blind randomized clinical trials to back up those claims. Though some health claims have been supported in studies with cells grown in the lab or in animal testing, experiments in human populations with reishi have been less conclusive and often small. Additionally, understanding any of the benefits of reishi mushrooms becomes even more difficult when we consider all the different species that may be marketed under the name reishi. It is important to note that some medical organizations, such as Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, only recommend reishi as a complementary supplement to more established treatments and not as a replacement. Documented side effects of reishi can also include nausea, insomnia, and liver damage. So while reishi is generally considered to be non-toxic, supplements should always be obtained from reputable sources or grown yourself. We have a mushroom growing course on DoubleBlind's website. We have a 102 course which gets specifically into wood-loving species, including reishi. You should always have a conversation with your physician if you're considering using reishi or any other herbal supplement to aid treatment of a diagnosed medical condition. It's also important to add the caveat in there, though, that some doctors are not comfortable talking about alternative treatments, including the use of psychedelics. And so if you go to your doctor, they might not be very helpful, but it's still always good to make them aware of what you're thinking about doing and ask them about whether they're aware of any potential contraindications with the current medications that you are on. One of the things we're passionate about at DoubleBlind is connecting people with doctors, integration therapists, and other experts who can support them as they explore alternative treatments. So be sure to check out doubleblindmag.com as well as some of our courses if you're interested in those resources. Let's talk about dosage. Human beings have been eating reishi, as mentioned, for thousands of years, but how much should you really take? Reishi extracts and powders can be more concentrated than fresh reishi, dried reishi, and reishi teas. Similarly, beta-glucan and triterpene content varies in different Ganoderma species and even varies between each individual mushroom. As such, consistently dosing reishi is not the easiest task. Actually, consistently dosing any mushroom, including psychedelic mushrooms, is not the easiest task. So how many milligrams of reishi mushrooms should you take? For those of you who might have grown or foraged your own reishi, the typical dosages in traditional Chinese medicine range from 1.5 to 9 grams per day. A sensible starting dose might begin at around 300 to 500 milligrams, 0.3 to 0.5 grams per day for a few weeks to see how you feel, keeping in mind that more doesn't always equate to better. Something that I'll just say more broadly about reishi, psychedelic mushrooms, lion's mane, anything that you're thinking about putting into your body is that it's good to just start with one variable at a time to see what's really making a difference for you. If you think back to the scientific experiment in school, if you're changing up a bunch of variables at once, you're gonna have a hard time knowing what's actually having an effect, whether positive or negative or neutral, on your overall wellness. So if you're interested in taking reishi, step one is talking to your doctor about it or someone else you trust to ensure that it's not going to be contraindicated with any medications you're currently on, finding a reliable source, whether that's a product that you really trust or growing them on your own through DoubleBlind's course or some other way, and then just starting with the lowest possible dose and working your way up and taking notes on how you feel. For more information like this, check out doubleblindmag.com.